So, thank you guys. Yes.
Who's this for?
Samaya. Thank you guys so much for the questions that you submitted for the rap and chat. So the truth is, I'm not going to be doing any rapping during this rap and chat. I am not the rapper in the family. My husband is, but my husband didn't want to chat. He only gives me one Q&A a year for my YouTube channel, and he's already met his quota. And so he refuses to chat. It's for, I don't know. I think that's either for Shy or Sela. Yes. So it might not be. That might not be for Sela. No. I think I'm going to keep my same intro from last time. Because I don't remember what I said. All right. So, thank you guys for submitting questions for our impromptu rap and chat. I'm going to have my little elf working back here rapping as I answer some of your questions. So, hey, babe, you don't have to keep it down because the camera could pick up all that stuff on the mic.
Okay.
You sure you don't want to answer any questions?
Positive.
Okay. So, thank you.
Just trying to keep it down.
Okay. So, this is from Nicole. Nicole says she is newer to my channel, so I'll be guilty of questions you've likely covered before. Shout out to Life in the Mundane. Whoop whoop, Katie, for causing me to find you. All right, Nicole. Ooh, Nicole, you came through with the questions. My goodness, let's go. Okay, so what measures do you take to keep yourself on task with homeschooling during the day? To keep yourself from phone, work, chores, etc. At times you've intended to be dedicated to homeschooling. Okay, so when we are on track with our homeschooling and we're doing it and we're getting it done and we're doing all the things, I tend to keep my phone on the charger or away from me so as to not be distracted by it. I also tell my kids that the phone is on the charger and mommy can't use her phone while school time is happening. And so, because that tends to be the biggest distraction in our homeschool day when it comes to chores and all the things, I can't do both at the same time. Well, I can't do chores and homeschool the kids at the same time. I tend to, in a lot of ways, neglect one to do the other or get frustrated by one thing because I'm trying to do two things at once. So aside from maybe making a snack, maybe taking out meat for dinner, maybe starting or putting stuff in an instant pot, something quick, there is not really any chores that I'm doing during our dedicated school time. So I hope that answers your question. I hope that helps. So I just minimize distractions as much as possible and try to stay focused. Okay, so even with anti-distraction measures in place and structure in place, do you or how often do you struggle to motivate yourself to follow through with your tasks or routines? Very often, especially when I am pregnant and tired, anemic, all the things. It's a constant struggle. It's a constant mind over matter for me in this stage of life that I'm in. It wasn't like that before, but currently right now, I have to find different ways to motivate myself, whether it is, hey girl, I have a Marco Polo group, so I'll come on there. I'll be like, guys, this is my goals for the day. Help me to stick with it. Help me to get it done. And they'll come on, they'll motivate. Like, Wendy, how are you doing? They'll check up on you, all the things. So either with my friends / accountability partners or with, how else? With my kids. My kids make great accountability. They keep me on track, doing all the things, especially when it's to keep mommy from certain things. So if it's like, keep mommy off of her phone. They love to do that. I think that, well, I attached little like rewards for accomplishing different things. So like, okay, Wendy, if you do this, then you can watch a show. If you get this done, then you can lay back down on your bed, different things like that. And that helps motivate me at times, but it's a constant struggle. It's a constant mind over matter thing. When the above happens, what do you do to power through and do it anyways? How often do you succeed at this versus how often do you fail to follow through with your homeschool plan? Lately, I succeed more often than I don't. And let me explain why. It's not even necessarily because I'm just amazing at motivating myself, but it's because my time is very limited. The amount of days that I actually have home to be able to get stuff done, to be able to get our homeschooling done is so limited that it's like, I don't have a choice but to actually do it, or like my kids aren't going to be schooling, which is like completely unacceptable. So lately it's been a lot more of a success. But when I was living in Florida and my life wasn't so jam packed and I didn't have like stuff happening all the time, it was about 50-50, to be honest. About half of the time it would work, half of the time it wouldn't. And I also constantly remind myself like the effects that it will have on my children for them to not be schooling. Like there's something to be said about whether or not I'm not homeschooling them because I'm like physically unable to, or because I'm just lazy. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I'd be able to live with myself knowing that my kids weren't receiving the proper education because because I didn't feel like it, like that's just unexcusable, so, right, babe? Okay. When the above, okay, hold on. Are you sensing a theme here? ADHD mama here, struggling to execute the school day. It's not the kids or the curriculum or the schedule at this point. We've made so many tweaks. It's me now. Progress is slow. Yeah, I think, and yes, I do think that one of the things, Katie has ADHD as well. And one of the things that she mentions a lot is using because a lot of times the thought will come in her head that I can't, or I'm not able to, but changing that to I don't want to change, and stuff like that makes her mentally, she's more able to accomplish her task because she's like, oh, well, if it's a don't want to, then that like, I guess, what the word I'm looking for, Sam? That like,
I think it changes your perspective. So if you change it from I can't, like I'm physically unable to I don't want to, then you can motivate yourself that it's a want thing. Yeah.
So you probably couldn't hear him, but he said it's like changing your mentality from saying like, it's like using your ADHD kind of like as a crutch, like rather than saying.
No, it's kind of like if you're on a diet, saying instead of I can't eat McDonald's, you change it from I don't eat McDonald's, and then you kind of reinforce the positive behavior that you're trying to see.
Okay.
So you just change your vocabulary, kind of like in the same vein of like positive affirmations.
Okay, so he said,
I'm powerful, I am a lion.
So he said it's more so about changing your perspective in the sense of like speaking in the positive. I get to do school. I get to take care of my home like that. And having a more positive mentality when it comes to it, rather than struggling and laboring through all that you have to do. 4-day or 5-day weeks, year-round, public schedule. Okay, we are currently doing 5-day weeks, but we are going to be transitioning into doing 5-day weeks, but including Saturday. So there's going to be one day during the week that we are not going to be doing anymore. Daddy is going to be taking over schooling for 1 day a week, which he's super excited about.
What?
So How many years have I been homeschooling? I have been homeschooling for 9 years. Since my son was 2. So for 9 years, that's crazy. And yes, I did start homeschooling my 2-year-old. And yes, I do regret that. How many years have you ever not homeschooled? No, I've never not homeschooled, but I was not homeschooled. I went to public school. What?
Sean went to school.
Oh, yeah, that's true. My son went to school for a little bit. But then wasn't I homeschooling Samaya? Or Samaya wasn't born yet?
Samaya wasn't born yet.
My son went to school for a little bit, but it didn't last long because he was biting the kids. Yes. So that he was like 1. So, and then he was home by 2 for me to teach him. So what does your husband do for work? He's a professional rapper. Sorry. Woo! No, he's a teacher. He is a journalism teacher. Is he home during any regular school time? If he does schooling with the kids, is it during regular school hours or fitted into other time stops like evenings or weekends? So yes. So like I said, I'm going to have another video coming out later on this year, later on next year, actually, in January.
Early next year.
Oh my gosh. I have a video coming out in January talking about our new homeschool schedule once I have it finalized, and he will be schooling our kiddos on Saturday while I work. But currently, no. Like if you're talking like Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, he's not home during that time unless he's off of work. So over the summer. Next question from Mama Jessie J. How do you handle sibling rivalry? I get confused knowing what to do, who to talk to first when they all erupt at the same time and they can't calm down. P.S. Love your videos. They always inspire me. I hate sibling rivalry. I hate sibling rivalry so much. So much. I feel like with my kids, it is 10 times worse than it was with me and my siblings. I want to say it's because I am 5 years older than my sister and 7 years older than my brother. So it was none for us to fight about. But with my kids being 2 to 3 years apart, it is the worst, the literal worst. I can say that I'm handling it poorly. I need a lot of work in it. It is a constant struggle, a constant battle to try to just help them to see past the fighting that they're doing and see more so the person that they're hurting, if that makes sense. Like when me and my husband get into arguments, one of the things that I love about our relationship is that we don't attack each other. We attack the problem. When my kids get into arguments, they attack each other. So just, loving one another and caring for one another. And what is more important? Is this doll more important than your sibling? Is this toy, is the TV more important than your sibling? What does God say? Like, how should we treat one another? All those things. I am in the thick of it. Once I have it packed and figured out and just in a nice little box, I'll wrap it up and do a video on it. But I don't think that video is coming anytime soon. It's just hard. It's difficult. I think sibling rivalry is normal in a sense, but then at the same time, I think that it's important to learn how to overcome that in a way. I feel like with the more kids you have, there's always somebody fighting with somebody, and it can seem like they're always fighting. Like I tell my friends all the time, it's like a very unhealthy marriage between my kids. But at the same time, they love just as hard as they fight. So I'm in the thick of it, trying to figure it out just like you. I would say to constantly remind them, which is what I try to do, what they're fighting over, is that more important than the person? And bring constantly, to the best of your ability, try to bring them back to the word and try to bring them back to how God says we should love and treat one another. I think a lot of the times rules, hey, you know, in our house, we don't fight, regulations and all those things, I think they can work temporarily, but I think getting to the heart of the issue is what is going to create the more long-term effect. Do you agree, Samuel?
No.
So what would you say?
I'm saying, like, your practical advice. That's real flowery. I mean, like, you do things in which, like, when you go out, have one person bring something for the other person. Start creating positive associations with each other.
All right. He wants me to give you some of my practical advice, but it's important to get to the heart of the issue, babe.
Make them have positive interactions with each other.
Okay. So one
sibling interaction, make sure that there's a positive one.
Okay.
Make sure that you have them play cooperative games instead of being competitive.
Okay, so that's true.
These the same team.
Okay, so those are the things that we've done. Like I have a whole video talking about cooperative board games that we got so that they can play games that are not necessarily attacking one another, that they can be on the same team. That's true. We try to make every time Sam goes out with one or two kids, he makes sure that the one or two that he goes out with comes back with something for the other one, so that they're always thoughtful and thinking of their sibling. That's very true. When it comes to gifts for Christmas and birthdays and things like that, we very much encourage our children to focus on their sibling rather than focusing on themselves. I know one thing that we have talked about in the past is just creating more of a team environment, like the Alsames. Do they know my last name? They know my last name, right? Like that we all unite and you know, that we all work together and that we're all one team and stuff like that. So definitely focusing on working on a team environment. But even with all those things, babe, they still fight.
I'm not saying that they don't fight, but I'm just saying, like, you have practical things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Try to help curb that fight.
Yeah. So, Timothy. This is from Timothy. Oh, wait, no. This is from Beth? Beth? Okay. Is it hard for you to let the kids clean for you? To teach them responsibility and to help the family, since you are helping them with homeschool? Okay. Okay. Is it hard for me to let the kids clean for me? I don't think the kids clean for me. I think the kids live here. They live in this house. They make mess. They need to clean for themselves. No, I'm just kidding. We're a family. We work in this house. Like, we live in this house. This is our home. You know, when we clean, we're cleaning our home. We are taking care of one another. Like, I don't think they're cleaning for me. I think they're cleaning because it's part of contributing to our home. It's part of contributing to our, like, family. So I don't look at it like, you know, them cleaning for me. So is it hard for me? I don't think it's hard for me to allow them to clean. I think I find difficulty in training them to do it the right way because I'm very particular about certain things. And so training wise, I can get a little micromanagey, but I think it's harder for my husband, right, babe? I think it's harder for him to allow them to clean and allow them to do that because he feels like it's faster and easier if he does it, which I'm sure a lot of people do. But I think it's important for them to learn that responsibility and to learn how to care for a home, because they'll have a home one day, and also because this is their home, you know, to take pride in their home and to want their home to be nice and clean, and to want their family to live in a clean home. To teach them responsibility and to help the family, since you are helping with homeschool. I mean, I don't think I'm helping with homeschool. I mean, obviously I'm helping with homeschool, but I don't think that like the reason why they should clean is because I'm helping with homeschool, if that makes sense. I think that they could be in public school and they would still have responsibilities to keep our home clean. When I was in public school, I had responsibilities to keep my home clean, you know. Every Saturday we had Saturday clean and we had to clean up the whole house. I was responsible for cleaning up my room and laundry and all the things. So I don't think that that they need to help me because I help them with homeschooling. I think that they need to help me because they need to contribute to our home. Does that make sense, babe?
Contribution.
Favorite Christmas Carol movie, activity, or book? I don't think I have a favorite Christmas Carol. I'm not a music person. I'm really not. Like, I can enjoy music, but I don't think that I'm like right-brained enough for music. But yeah, so I don't think I have a favorite Christmas Carol, which is kind of sad. My favorite Christmas movie is Elf, because I think it's funny. My favorite book, The Gospel Comes with a House Key. I really love that book. So, one thing you don't do for Christmas that others seem to do. Oh, I don't, we don't do Santa Claus. So we don't do Santa, our kids know, but they also know not to tell other people's kids that Santa's not real. We had a neighbor who believed in Santa, and my kids did an amazing job at never telling her that Santa wasn't real. And she was like 10 years old and my kids never told her. So really proud of them. We don't do that. We don't ruin Santa for other people. But we also don't necessarily believe in Santa the way that other people believe in Santa. My husband likes to say that we believe that Santa is, in a lot of ways, the spirit of Christmas. Is that it, babe?
Santa's a symbol.
Santa's a symbol of Christmas? No.
What? Symbol of the season.
Santa's the symbol of the season. Of a season.
The symbol for Christmas is Christ.
Yes, the symbol for Christmas is Christ.
Santa's like a sentiment or an idea.
Yeah, Santa's like a sentiment or an idea, my husband tells the kids. So one thing you realized didn't add value to your homeschool / Christmas. What is one thing that I realized that did not add value? All right, so I can't really think of something that I realized that didn't add value to our Christmas, but to our homeschool, in a lot of ways, trying to replicate public school in our homeschool didn't necessarily work. I think it works for some, it really does. But for us, it didn't work. I have too many age ranges to try to replicate public school in our home. But, so yeah, I think a lot of people discover that though. Favorite thing about homeschooling. My favorite thing about homeschooling is the flexibility that it allows and also the customization that it allows. I love the fact that I can tailor my kids' education to what they need. And I also love the fact that I can talk about God all the time with them. Favorite thing about Kansas. My favorite thing about Kansas is the people. Things you change. Well, actually, that's not true. My favorite thing about Kansas is our church. Things you change about having a baby now versus your first. My first child I purchased a ridiculous amount of things that were never utilized, like maybe 5 to 7 jars of Vaseline and 6 to maybe 7 packets of gauze, because I knew that he was going to be circumcised and we were going to need Vaseline and gauze. So that's like the type, just so like the surface area of the amount of things that I purchased for him that were absolutely unnecessary. He had so many clothes that he could never wear because he was just one child. And so one thing, so definitely a lot more minimal now than I was with my first. Just some questions. It's fun. You do a great job on this channel in your parenting, being real. Thank you for taking the time. Aw, Jesus shines through you. And you guys are so encouraging and kind. So I just want to say that. It does, just because we're in front of the camera doesn't mean that, like, you know, we don't struggle with stuff and stuff like that. So when you guys leave an encouraging comment or say something sweet or whatever, it really helps to spur us on and motivate us. And it's just a kind act. Babe, are you rapping?
Not right now.
Why?
I'm about to.
All right, get back to work, babe.
All right, babe.
When life happens, like sicknesses, etc., how do you get back on track with routines? Okay, so right now I'm going through this. Our routines are all out of whack. Homeschooling is just currently on the back burner. Everything is just requiring structure. And so what I am currently doing is I'm taking a step back. I'm allowing things to just land where they must. So the bathrooms aren't as clean as I usually like, and things aren't flowing on a routine as they usually are. I'm very thankful for my husband who picks up the slack as I let things just fall. Because my current situation with how I need to get back on a routine is I need time to think and develop a routine that will work for us. If our routine was working prior, then all I would do is just allow time for a retraining, and then we'll jump back into a routine. But currently, with me getting a new job and doing all the things, I need to come up with a whole new routine. So right now I'm coming up with a whole new homeschool routine, a whole new cleaning routine, a whole new like just life routine. And so with that, that's what I do. I take a step back. I come up with a routine. I'm going to take about a week to train, and then we're just going to jump right back in it. Do you try to spend some time to play catch up, or just try to pick up where you left off? I do allow for, that's a good question, because I do allow for time for catch up as well. I don't start a cleaning routine in a messy house. So I will take like a few days where I'll be like, all right, guys, we're going to clean our house and we're going to get everything back in order. And then I start a new routine, because I want to give the routine its fair shake and allow it to, you know, possibly work, you know? And I think that a lot of the times when you're starting off from such a messy state, it makes it hard to see if it's the routine or if it's actually because you started off so far behind. So I do take some time to play catch up if possible. If not, I just got to start from where I'm at, and I just got to push through the routine for longer than I would necessarily push a routine, because I need to allow time for us to get back to zero. Do you try to spend, I love planning stuff, but I'm not great at execution. Same. And I don't have ADHD. That was from Lady J. Okay. Risha Douglas. I hope I pronounced your name right. With having such a busy family life, what tips would you give to others on how to keep the marriage alive? Bae!
Yeah.
How you keep the marriage alive?
911.
Dial 911. I think within the busyness of life, there are seasons in which you forget that you're married to another person and you're just going through the motions. Just because there are seasons of that doesn't necessarily mean it's right. I know a lot of people excuse the seasons and be like, it's just a season. And that's true. It possibly is just a season. But I think even if it's just a season, you should in a lot of ways recognize, oh, shoot, this is not good. What can we do to correct it? Not just allow it to continue. And so what I would say is being intentional. What might work for me and my husband might not work for you and your husband. You know what I mean? Within your marriage. So I would say being intentional, being hyper aware and vigilant that like your relationship with this person has to come before the homeschooling, before the cleaning, before the work, before everything. Like your relationship with your partner has to come first. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be all encompassing, like it has to be everything, but you have to be intentional about making time for that person and doing little things to like let that person know that they're important to you, even within the busyness. And that does add an extra step to your day, to your life, to all the things. But at the end of the day, I think it pays off. I know it pays off. Like hubby, he makes my lunch when I have to go to work. Every day that I have to go to work, he makes my lunch. And or when I'm out of the house, when I'm working, he always makes sure that like the bed is fixed when I get home, which I know is a big thing for him as well. Like when he gets home from work, the whole house can be a mess, but as long as his bed is fixed, he's good, So just try to be intentional about just letting the other person know that you care for them in the season, in the busyness of that season. And whenever you can, make the time. What do you have to say, babe?
You would be able to release it on YouTube.
All right, never mind. Never mind. We're just going to move right on. Bye. What were your favorite Christmas traditions growing up? Well, growing up, we didn't have a lot of Christmas traditions. We just didn't. We didn't do a lot when it came to Christmas and holidays and all things. We always got gifts and stuff like that. But my mom was a single mom, you know what I mean? So the holiday seasons, I would assume, were very stressful for her in a lot of in a sense, because that's when she had to do a lot of overtime and all the things to try to get us all the things. Because even though she was a single mom, she didn't want us to feel as if we were without. And so she did a lot so that we always had what anybody else our age would have. And I don't necessarily know if that's the best thing, but that was the best thing for her. And I think she's an amazing mom. So, but all of that to say, one of the traditions that we did have is that we would always go to the candlelight service at church. And it was always like a really special time. At first, it was just because I got to hold a burning candle on a paper. And I thought that was really cool. But later on, it became because, that's when you get to hear all the holiday music and there's all the feels and, stuff like that. So it was just something that we always did. We got dressed up and we went to the candlelight service at church. How are you truly doing and feeling? Lord, that's deep, Linda. You always come with the deep questions. How am I truly doing and feeling? Currently, right now, I am tired. Right now, I am tired. I have my days. I have my moments. I have really good days. And I have really exhausting days. I'm currently fighting anemia, which, causes fatigue, dizziness, and all the things. And I'm just really trying to I'm just really praying that the iron infusions that I'm doing, that they're helping, and that I will get my energy back, and I'll get my mojo back, and I'll start to feel better, and all the things. But my general state is tired. That is my general state. And I'm missing feeling good. To be honest, I'm missing feeling not foggy and not dizzy. And yeah. Do you have any goals set for 2023? I do have goals set for 2023. And I will be having a goals video on December 29th or 28th. One of those. I think it's Wednesday, the last Wednesday in December. So keep a lookout for that. Do you have any traditions as far as New Year's Eve is concerned? I am incredibly sad about New Year's Eve this year. Hubby doesn't know, but we always do a New Year's Eve party in Florida where our entire family would come and we would celebrate and do all the things. And it was just such a special time of just laughter and joy and just pure fun. And I'm missing that this year. I'm really missing that. I am already, like, for Hubs, Thanksgiving was his like sentimental time of missing Florida. I really think that New Year's Eve will be that for me. But no, I don't have, do you have any traditions as far as? So that used to be our tradition. I don't know what we're going to be doing this year, what new traditions we'll be starting this year. How's homeschooling in Kansas been? Was navigating the homeschool law, etc. easy, stress? Homeschool laws in Kansas are not difficult at all. Like, I haven't had to do anything. I'm keeping a portfolio, but that's not a requirement. You just have to register as a private like a private school, I believe. You register as a private school, and then you do your thing. No one bothers you. No one says anything. So the laws are not as strict here. I know in Florida we had to do an annual evaluation, and that wasn't even that big of a deal. But here, that's not even a requirement. But I do keep a homeschool portfolio just because if anybody come knocking, here's what we be doing. What are your Christmas Day family traditions? From Fruit of Her Hand. What are your Christmas Day family traditions? We make a really nice breakfast. We, what else do we do for Christmas Day, babe? We dress all in the same pajamas. We take time opening up gifts one at a time. It's not like a go for your gifts and then everybody runs and grabs their gifts types of thing. It's like one at a time. People open gifts, people give gifts to one another, and it's just a very quiet, sweet morning. We then spend the morning playing with gifts that kids just received. We just have a really lax day filled with lots of treats. But yeah, it's pretty much it, right, babe? The night before Christmas Eve, they do get to open one gift, which we might be doing tonight, Christmas Eve, because I work tomorrow. So we'll see. So they get to open one gift. And that's about it. Yes, if you are joining us for this rap and chat, y'all need to get to rapping because it's kind of late. It's Christmas Eve. Do you want, this is from Little House in the Big Woods. Do you want more kids after baby boy? Mr. Alsamay.
What?
Do we want more kids after baby boy?
I don't want the first one.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer this question. He thinks that God gives you what he's going to give you. And he doesn't make plans for kids. But this pregnancy has been really hard. And getting here was really hard. So I don't know. I've always thought that I would have 6 kids. But we've never been opposed to adoption or anything like that. I just really don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to get through this one and see how I feel. I know with every pregnancy, I've always felt like, oh, no, this is not it. I'm going to have another one. Oh, no, I'm going to have another one. But with this one, I don't know. I'll let you know when he's born. How do you balance everything? I'm exhausted watching your videos. Antoinette. Girl, I do not balance everything. I do not. See, the video is real short. And it's only showing this much. I do not balance everything. I've got a wonderful husband. Like, I mean, you guys don't understand. He's like my second me. Like, he cooking, cleaning, watching kids, homeschooling, whatever it is, like, he's right there to help me. I don't do all of nothing. And I'm incredibly thankful and grateful for that. I do my best, and I try to stay in my lane, in the sense that, like, I try to be fruitful, and I try to be diligent with what I have to be diligent with, and what has been entrusted to me, not what everybody else is doing. And even within what has been entrusted to me, I fail at times, but there is a beauty and a grace to that. Like, there's an ebb and a flow to life. Like, you could be getting it one day, like the cooking, the cleaning, the homeschooling, the marriage, like you just doing the most. And then there's just seasons in life where it's just like, okay, I'm just trying to pick up the big rocks right now. I'm just trying to pick up the big pieces right now and try to manage that, you know? So I do not do it all. I do everything by the grace of God. So lots of prayer. Babe? Mm-hmm. How'd you do?
I do with what?
The wrapping. Are you all done?
No.
Because I'm all done with my chatting.
Okay. Well, I'll keep wrapping.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Until next time. Bye. And Merry Christmas.